All right, I'm ready. Good evening, guys. How we doing? How was your weekend? What did you do? All right, we'll make a quick Sunday market recap. We'll have a overall look for the Magnificent Seven and overall stock market, Qs, SPY, Bitcoin, and WM. All right, and then we'll cover the setups for this week, and after that we'll go to Q&A. If you guys have any stocks that you would like me to have a look, we'll have a look, okay? All right, a big news. US struck the Iran and the market pulled back a little bit. As you can see, Qs opened at 590 and then recovered really fast. We'll probably fill the gap, and I think it's not going to be a big deal because market already priced in the U.S.-Iran war situation, so that's why it's not like a black swan event. So market will probably open up flat tomorrow. Yeah, and it's going to be like a Friday day. All right. So overall, there is nothing new when it comes to cubes, right? We're just chopping all day the past since February, right? Since February, we are on this gap zone. Sorry, not the gap zone, but the range zone, right? So we didn't break out, we didn't break down. So Qs are just chilling, all right? So there is nothing to do with the Qs right now until I see a breakout of the structure, breakout from this range or break down, and then we get the direction, right? Same thing with SPY, right? Same thing. We just ranging, consolidating, right? So market right now, there is no direction. There is no direction. So that's why it's hard to swing trade, right? When we had the market direction, right? So let's go to back to 2025, right? Early the beginning of 2025, right? This is January, February period. And then Trump announced the tariffs, right? Every day was a tariff news. And then we got the direction, right? For the direction, I usually use the 9 EMA, right? Which is this green line, right? It gives you a clear direction. You can see a direction is a downside, downtrend, right? And then we figure out the tariffs, right? To peace in the world, right? Etc. Etc. Then we got an uptrend direction. When you got a direction, it is really profitable, safe to swing trade, right? When you got a when the, you have no direction on the market, right? Since let's call it from the beginning of November till this day, we clearly just moving sideways. As you can see, the green line, it's just up, down, up, down, up, down, right? 9 EMA. So there's no clear direction. Until then, just be careful with swing trades. I wouldn't risk too much. So, however, individual stocks like, for example, Unity, right? It's just there's a clear direction. Or SaaS stocks like Adobe, for example, right? Adobe stock, there's a clear direction. If you every time it touches the 9 EMA, right? You buy puts, you print all the way down, right? It pulls up, goes up, touches the 9 EMA, and then pulls back. Same thing. Same thing with the Reddit. The reason why I love the Reddit puts is just there was a clear direction for the puts, right? Or a shorting opportunity. In here, it was an uptrend with the calls, you would make a money. But when there is a chop, right? When there is a no direction, it's really hard to swing trade with options. If you're holding shares, it's okay. You're losing nothing. But when it comes to options trading, the theta will kill you. And every day, if there is no movement, your options will go down, 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 down. All right. So just be careful. until you see a breakout or breakdown, and until you see a direction in the market, don't over leverage yourself. Don't over full port. Okay. So when it comes to crypto, let's quickly analyze the Bitcoin. Bitcoin usually loves to move on the sideways for like days, for like weeks, maybe months, right? Look at this range. So since March 2024 till November 2024, right? It was just moving sideways. Yes, a bit up, a bit down, up, down, but there's no breakout, right? So we got a breakout here, moving sideways, breakdown, moving sideways, breakout, moving sideways, moving sideways, moving sideways. Same thing here, all right? So I'm not expecting anything from the crypto market. It's gonna probably move sideways like weeks, days, probably months, right? And then when you turn on the weekly, I think probably 56K for the Bitcoin will be touching the trend line, and there's a support here. All right, there's a great support here. So we'll probably go lower. And there's a Bitcoin cycle. I would really recommend you to go to the Google, type Bitcoin cycle, and you will get a bunch of cycles. You will see it almost moves the same as a cycle. All right. Small caps, on the other hand, on a daily, we're holding the trend line. Same thing as SPY. Same thing as SPY, but a little bit bullish. You know what I'm saying? We're just moving, consolidating sideways, and then, but we're just holding the trend line really, really well. But if you turn on the 21 EMA, which is another indicator that I use for like a weekly, like just to see overall picture, is just a little bit down, but still holding the trend line. So big hopes for small caps. All right. So done. All right. Let's cover the Apple real quick, and now we will cover Magnificent Seven stocks. I'm not a VIX expert, but every time VIX jumps to 23 to 30, you buy calls. But I'm not gonna touch the VIX because I'm not an expert of VIX. So Apple. We got a nice trend line, nice support trend line here. As you can see, since 2025 April, right? We started recovering from 168. We touched, bounced, right? Moved sideways, touched again, find the support, went up, right, all the way to 288. Then we made a resistance here, very strong resistance, I would say. Then we pulled back again, find the support here, right? Find a great support, bounced, touched resistance. We didn't break out on Apple. We pulled back on this day. There was a, what was that? I think there was a Siri news. I was holding Apple calls. It was unlucky day, but it is what it is. Same thing. We made a nice, cute double top here. All right, nice double top here. One top, second top. It's not a perfect double top, but as you can see, it's like a M shape, like a Michael. Right, up, down, and we will probably retest the bottom line, the trend line here, support trend line, and we got a nice support here. You see, we got a nice support here. So what I think is Apple will probably make this type of move, right? This type of move, touch the trend line. We got a support here, right? We got a trend line support, general, like we have been testing this trend line and we got a confirmation. It's not a regular trend line because we have been testing the trend line since 2025 April 2025, right? August 2025, we tested January 2026, right? And I think we'll retest the trend line, and when it's gonna come to the trend line, the bottom trend line, and we got a nice support here. right? And there's risky, but it was to risk buying Apple calls here, and then watch for the uptrend, right? It would be nice trade. I'm waiting for the setup to come to me. So if I go long on Apple, it will be something like this, right? Something like this, right? I think risk to reward ratio, worst to risk, right? Because every time you touch the trend line, it goes up around 10%, 12%, right? Yeah, this is my scenario for Apple. Let's go to Amazon. So Amazon, we have this small gap left, right? We got a small gap left here, small gap left here, but we got a big gap here. As you can see, the gap between this candle and this candle, right? And we got another up gap in the upside. So what I think is if we get a good week, for the stock market, which is going to be green week, right? Good news. There's like a ending war, etc., or any good news, right? We just need a good green week, and I do believe that the Amazon will probably, oops, sorry, Amazon will probably break out from the resistance, right? We got a resistance here. We got a resistance. And you see on Friday, it closed strong, but overnight is down negative 1.3%, right? So once you see a breakout like this, and it should close above the top wick for February 9, February 10, right? When you see when you see a strong close, then you can play call options for Amazon for the gap fill, right? So we got a gap here and gap here. Once you see enter breakout, it will probably fill the gap. All right, next, Google. Google, I wouldn't touch Google because it's not my favorite setup style. It doesn't suit my strategy. I don't see a breakout. I don't see anything, but we got a nice support here. We got a nice support here. We've been testing this support on this day, and on this day, right? So, but we got a nice, very nice bull flag here. But the past few weeks, I would say the insiders, the institutions are selling Google, right? You wouldn't go against big guys. So I think there won't be any big moves from Google. It will probably chop between this and this, right? Same thing it did for where was it? Oh, here. Same thing for 2024. We've been chopping, and you see a breakdown, and then you can go with puts, right? So until then, it's really hard to trade Google, and I kind of see Head and Shoulders here, not the shampoo, Head and Shoulders, but technical Head and Shoulder, right? We got a left shoulder, head, and we will probably build a right shoulder here, right? Something like this, it will touch, and then pull back again. So just be careful. I wouldn't really trade Google, but it's up to you. All right, next, Meta. All right, Meta is my favorite setup. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just waiting for the setup come to me, right? I'm not rushing. I did rush with Meta like 2 weeks ago, and I got burned. But this time I will wait for like patiently. All right, let me put on a weekly. I'm gonna put on a weekly. And then if you look since 2023, right? Here's a date, 2023 August, we've been building this major support trend line, right? If you put on a daily, you see how this trend line is important. Every time it touches the trend line, it finds a support, goes up, finds a support, goes up, goes up, goes up, goes up, and pulls back during the tariffs, right? Finds a support again here. It didn't give up, it didn't break down. Finds a support and goes up. Same thing, support, 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 right? When you gotta when you have this strong trend line, you should, you should probably, like, trading is a risk, right? Trading is a risk. You should probably take a risk because you got a confirmation that this trend line has been working for like 3 years, right? 3 years since 2023, August. Yeah. So I think Meta will, I don't care if it's gonna go up 7%, right? And then pulls back. Then yeah, again, chops, go sideways, but I will buy Meta call options once it's gonna come close to the trend line. I wouldn't I wouldn't risk Meta calls here at this 648, maybe 650 price, but it's like a, you take less risk. Your loss will be less. So let's say if you so my plan is like this. Let me show you. So I will probably enter whenever it's gonna come close to the trend line, right? Whenever it's gonna come close to the trend line, and I will exit once the daily candle closes below the trend line, right? Once the daily candle closes below this trend line, right? So here's my risk to reward, right? Look, beautiful, right? I know it's not, I'm not gonna hold all the way to 730, 731. I will probably exit somewhere like whenever I will see a nice profit, but this is the risk to reward, right? But if you if you FOMO and you rush things, right? You don't let the setup to come to you, and here is your risk to reward. Your stop loss should be below the trend line. All right, you respect your stop loss, and you see how big your loss will be. And here's my plan. I think it works, all right, logically. So be patient, let the setup come to you. Don't FOMO, don't rush. And once we see, you see the upper trend line here, the resistance here, like similar with Apple, right? Apple has the same thing. If you are like not sure with the call options, if you are like really, really, really bearish for the stock market, for the Meta specifically, right? Because they are spending a lot of money on the capex, etc., then you will probably miss this move, right? Because look, it touched here and then went up, right? You will probably sell here. You will take a profit. Maybe you will sell here. You're like a diamond hand, right? Or like you're a super legend and you will sell here. But most of the traders will sell the next day or like after 2 days. Because in this move, like how many? 8% move, you'll probably end up like a 3-digit percent profit, like more than 100%, right? Usually. So, but if you're really bearish for the Meta, then my next play would be once you see a Meta make this type of move, right? Hypothetically, it's gonna go up, right? Like this. It's gonna go down. It's gonna touch the trend line, and you see a breakout like this, right? We didn't break out here. We didn't break out here. We didn't break out here. Once you see a breakout, then you got a confirmation. Then you can go long all the way to this support. We got a nice support. I'm sorry, resistance here. We got a nice resistance. This let's call it 790, right? Here's another plan. And your stop loss will be below the. If you see a breakout, and like, I don't know, maybe the next day it's gonna pull back, some bad news happens, and you see the candle closes below something like this, below the trend line, right? Sorry. Below the trend line, the daily candle closes below the trend line, and there would be your stop loss. You cut the loss here. All right, cool. Let's cover the Microsoft real quick. Chat, we good? Can you guys hear me loud and clear? I'm not talking to myself. Anyone? Yes, all good, all good, all good. Nice. Microsoft. Let's zoom out. On Microsoft, we have a nice gap here. All right, nice gap here. Nothing changed. The gap is still there. I put a gap here, and we've been like downtrending. The trend is downtrend, and we had a nice support here. We've been testing. Look, if you look at the daily, this breakdown on Meta, I'm sorry, on Microsoft, you see, it's been testing, find the support here, went up, went down, find the support. It was just moving sideways, and we broke down, right? We broke down, and this breakdown was kind of, I would say, fake breakdown. It's just because the next day it recovered really fast, and we're still on this support zone. It's just if you delete it. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. If you put the box here, right? It's just moving sideways. It's options. You lose money if you don't see a move, right? If you are really bullish on Meta, it's okay. Everyone is bullish on Microsoft. I'm sorry, it's just moving sideways since the beginning of February. Imagine you bought a Microsoft call options leaps for, I don't know, for June, July, or August, and the past 1 month you didn't see any move, right? It's just you bought it here. I'm sorry, you bought it here and you're still here. You know what I'm saying? So just be careful. I don't see any setup because Microsoft can move for like how many since the November 20 till almost, let's say till almost January 27, right? November, December, January, 2 months, 2 months, 3 months, right? It's just moving sideways and your lips are cooked here, right? Look, actually, Microsoft was a nice double top here. It gave you a sign, all right? This was a nice double top, right? M shape, up, down, second top, and then boom. That was a nice short setup. All right. As I said, Microsoft is just moving sideways. I don't see any setup here. I wouldn't touch Microsoft. It's just you can day trade. When there is a chop, you should day trade. I'm not gonna say don't touch the Microsoft. No, 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 no. You see, we have a nice support, nice, nice support resistance levels, right? Whenever you see it touch the your support level, right, and it doesn't break, you can go against it, or you can buy calls. For example, here, look at this. We got a support, right? And we almost bounced from the support from this day, right? And you can day trade if you know how to. I explained how to day trade on my YouTube channel. You can go check how I trade zero DT options. All right, now let's cover the Tesla real quick. We don't have much time, and I don't want to take your valuable time. All right, all right. So Tesla is clearly in a downtrend, right? We were like moving down, and we got a nice support here, right? We have confirmed the support. We got a support here, support, right? So clearly 390, 385, right? 390, 385 is a support. And we got a nice bull flag here. I'm waiting for this Tesla to come to me. waiting patiently. Same as Meta. As I said, I will let the Meta come here and then buy calls, then play the upside, right? Same thing. But it's very tight. Tesla is very tight setup. I'll explain. You see how if you put a flag here, right? Can you guys see a flag? So this is the thing that you hold the flag, right? Oops. Let me just do this, right? It looks like a flag, right? So this is the thing that you hold, and this is a flag itself, right? Just waving. And as you can see, it's very tight, tight flag, right? Tight bull flag, I would say, right? And then one day it will make this type of move. It's very obvious, right? And then you see a breakout. We just need a little bit bullish sentiment on the market in order to Tesla to break out. But I see a lot of whales buying Tesla call options for June, July, August. Maybe they know something, right? Option flow, I'm saying. But I would probably take a risk. It's not an A plus setup. It's like a, I would say B, maybe B plus for me. And the trade would be something like this. Same thing. A breakout. And my stop loss would be definitely below 385. 385. Oh, all right. Let me give a little bit more room for this trade. 380, because we have a nice support here, like under 385. I don't want to just cut the loss here, and you see a bounce back up. So this would be my trade idea. All right, Nvidia. Same thing. Nvidia. If you bought Nvidia around like July 2025. When you bought July Nvidia shares July 2025, you made zero money. Because look, we are just moving on this range. Again, same thing, right? There's no movement. There's no uptrend, right? You need a uptrend move for like to swing anything, right? You see uptrend, then it goes up, moves sideways. You trade this move, guys. You trade this move, but you do not trade this because it's not gonna make you money. You will probably end up losing here, right? And you take a risk, you invest like $500, maybe $5,000, doesn't matter, right? You invest here, you see an uptrend, you turn on your 9 EMA, right? All right, give me a second. Let me turn off the other indicators. All right, you turn on the 9 EMA, you see uptrend like this, right? You see uptrend, you buy here. You don't. You will probably won't buy here. You will probably buy here because you don't know where's the bottom, right? You'll buy here. You wait. You ride the momentum all the way up, right? Take profits, sell, right? Right, and you make money on this move, but you don't make money on this range because you'll end up losing on a theta, right? Time will kill you. You wait. You buy call options here for 1 month. There is no movement. You lose money, and you're like, oh no, I'm not gonna touch the Nvidia. And then you'll see the next move up. And what you're gonna do is you buy here, right? When there is no movement. So just be careful, guys. My point is, when you see this move, there's no, it's really hard to make money on Nvidia right now. So, and we got a nice uptrend here. The uptrend, it was like this before, right? My uptrend was something like this, right? But we broke the uptrend, and now my upper trend line is not valid, so I'm gonna delete it. But we got a nice support, the bottom trend line here. So I do believe Nvidia will probably touch the trend line and make this type of move. Because look, since since July 2025, right? July, this is September, this is November, this is December, this is January, this is February, right? We've been testing this bottom trend line for like a past half year, right? More than a half year. So if you are like bullish and you want to buy Nvidia call options, I would buy somewhere here. Okay, so done. You guys have any questions when it comes like to Magnificent Seven stocks? If you do, ask me now. All right, cool. Now let's cover the setups. I like ARM. I'm not gonna lie. I did really like the ARM because in ARM we were like in uptrend. I I love the cat call options, and every time it touched the 9 EMA, right? You buy call options, you wait, right? It's gonna move sideways for a few days, and then you see upper like move to upside, right? You don't trade here, you buy, you make money, right? You don't trade this part, you see a breakout, then you make money. So, however, I thought cat will probably move sideways like this, right? Right? It will probably move sideways. And when you see a strong breakout, then you buy call options and you ride the momentum, right? You see a breakout, you ride the momentum, right? But cat is breaking down now. It's losing its momentum. So what we're gonna do is nothing. We're gonna just delete it from the setup, right? As I said, we need a strong breakout. So Boeing is on my watch list, all right? Boeing is on my watch list. We'll come to CVS, GNG, but I will really cover the Boeing real quick. So listen, Boeing is type of a stock that once it breaks down the 9 EMA, right? Once it breaks down the 9 EMA, you see a move. You see a like the trend, the direction is gonna change, right? You see, we broke out the 9 EMA here, and then you see a move up, right? We broke down the 9 EMA, you see the move down. We break out, up, right? And you see a breakdown, down. Oops, what did I do? All right. So same thing. So what I think is it's not an A plus setup. It's just the bottom is I'm not gonna pay attention too much, but I kind of like puts for Boeing because we're like changing the trend now. And look, I have airline sector, right? I have Alaska Airlines, I have JetBlue, United Airlines, Boeing, American Airlines, and Delta. So when I want to trade Boeing, for example, when I want to trade Boeing, I will definitely have a look to other stocks in the same sector, right? Yes, Boeing doesn't like it's not a like airline, but they do produce the what is it called the flights I forgot the word. All right, whatever. Right? So as you can see, the airlines, for example, Alaska Airlines is going down. Same thing with JetBlue. Same thing with United Airlines, right? It's losing its momentum, right? Same thing with Boeing. Same thing with American Airlines. And the same thing with Delta Airlines. You see, the past 2 weeks they have the same move, right? So I kind of like puts for Boeing, but be careful. If you want to trade the Boeing, you won't make probably like big money, but if you want to take a risk, I would probably end up my setup will probably be like this all the way to the next support, right? Something like this, right? It's not an A plus setup. I'm just giving you some idea, right? Enphase, energy sector is losing momentum again. If you saw what was that? EOZ, EOS Energy Enterprise, it dumped like I don't know. It lost 50% probably. It lost, yes, exactly 50, almost 50%, 49% in 2 days. In 2 days, right? So on the other hand, let me go to the energy sector. Sorry, batteries, energies, like for example, Plug is going down, Bloom Energy is just moving sideways, ABAT is going down, EOZ is going down, and Enphase lost 7% on Friday, and we still have the gap. We still have the gap. You can catch the gap, but it's very risky. Right? You can play this move, guys. This around 10%. 10% move down. 10% move down to play puts. But it's kind of risky because it's way too much down. When you see like 10% move, for example, from here to here, 15% in 3 days, right? In 3 days, it will probably make a dead cat bounce, right? Pull back, then keep bleeding. Just wait for the setup. When you see come close to the trend line, then you can short the setup. ARM, RM is not on my watch list. Pinterest. So I want to short the SaaS stocks, guys. SaaS stocks, the past 2 months, almost 2 months, has been like downtrend. Look, I'm not gonna show you. I will show you 3 individual stocks. For example, Adobe. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn on the 9 EMA, right? 9 EMA, like since January, since December. Well, we were like in downtrend like past like 2 years on Adobe, but look, I'm gonna show you past 2 months, right? It's gonna go down, touch the 9 EMA, go down all the way, all right, touch the 9 EMA again, go down, touch the 9 EMA, and it will probably keep bleeding, right? Now look at the CRM. CRM is a little bit exception because CRM, this move was because of the earnings, right? This breakout, but same thing. Since beginning of the January, we pull back down, touch the 9 EMA, go down, touch the 9 EMA, go down, right? And the Pinterest is kind of it's gonna lose its momentum because Anthropic or like Anthropic wants to what what is it called? Replace a lot of major stocks like Pinterest, Adobe, CRM, and etc. etc. And Pinterest has the very cheap contracts. I'm not gonna tell you go with March 20, but if you want to give yourself more time, just be patient, right? Be patient, and I would really recommend you to go with what's the next week? Sorry, next month. Let me turn on the. Hold on a second. So this is March, the first, February, the third, the second, the third. So March 20 is gonna be OPEX, and now let's go back to April. So April 1, April 3rd, first Friday, second, yeah. So for April months, it's gonna be April 17. It's gonna be OPEX day. So I would go with April 17 and probably with like Pinterest 15, maybe 16 puts strike price. So look, one contract will cost you 84. Is it 84? Yes, it's gonna cost you $84. $80. It's very cheap. It's very, very, very cheap. If you have like, I know not many people have like thousands of dollars in their portfolio, but if you have like less capital and you want to short the market, I mean, software as a service stocks like Pinterest, Adobe, right? And it's gonna cost you $80, and you will give yourself almost 2 months time to play the short setup, right? On the other hand, Adobe, look, if you go to April 17, one contract will cost you $1,200, $1,000. $1,200 or $1,000 depending on the strike price, right? I think it's worth the risk. It's on my watch list. I'll monitor the situation, etc., etc., and definitely have a look to IGV. It's ETF for iShares Expanded Tech Software Sector, which is like all the SaaS stocks ETF, if it makes sense. Just Google it, right? So MO, God, I love MO. So MO is a tobacco company. It's like, look at the MO as a safe investment that investors would like to invest when there is like uncertainty in the market, right? When there's uncertainty, when there's a war, when there's like a blah, 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 people invest in Walmart, people invest in Coca-Cola, Pepsi, MO. Why? Because their dividend is good. They give you a dividend. So since the 2026, right, January 2026, we've been in uptrend. We got a clear uptrend. Every time it tests the 90 MA, right, 90 MA, you buy call options, you print all the way down, right? What we did, I think we bought a like we did trade the MO call options. Like I think the previous Friday, I bought on previous Friday, then right the momentum, right? So I'm waiting for the setup to come to me, right? And I will probably end up buying again, roll over the MO call options right around like $68, around like, yeah, 68, 68.5, and with March 20 call options, right? Look, beautiful, beautiful setup. We got a nice trend line, nice uptrend, guys, nice uptrend. And this time, and if you zoom out yearly, right, there is no resistance in the upside. There is no resistance. That means like it can fly all the way to wherever it wants, right? We broke out here. The previous resistance was somewhere here, and it was hard for MO to break out, right? We made the resistance here, we pulled back, we went up, again, touched the resistance, we didn't break out, pulled back, there was earnings, right? And it's the stock dumped all the way to 55. We made a double bottom here, right? Nice double bottom here. Boom, boom. Nice bottom, double bottom here. And then since the beginning of year, since January, we've been like in uptrend, right? When you see this type of move, I call it lazy trader setup. Why? Because a lazy trader setup is you every time it's gonna touch the 90 MA, you buy call options, you ride the momentum, right? When you say breakdown, you cut the loss, right? The next is UNH, United Health Group. On UNH, we have a, all right, let me delete this. We have a massive gap down. Turn on that. Sorry, the massive gap in the upside. There's a gap here, and we have a nice double again. I wouldn't say a double bottom. I see a reverse head and shoulder, guys. Reverse head and shoulder here and here. It's not a perfect reverse head and shoulder. So this is head, this is left, this is right, right? And you can clearly see we have a nice trend line. We have been building a nice trend line here, right? If you zoom out, the trend line goes all the way to here, right? Till August 2025, right? We have a nice trend line here. And now we are trying to break out, but be careful. Don't FOMO, don't rush, don't jump into the call options. It's just wait for the setup to come to you. I will, I'm gonna do this, guys. I'm gonna put a gap here. So there's a massive gap here. How many percent? 15% gap in the upside, guys. And you can see I will probably be trading the UNH call options when I see a breakout from 300. I'm not gonna put a breakout to 295, right? Here is 295, but I will probably put on a break above 300. Then I will be interested in UNH calls. And I will give myself around like 2 months, maybe 1 month and 2 weeks, because there's a massive gap. There's opportunity here, right? And you see there was the gap here too, right? There's a gap here. You see a gap, and the gap has been filled on this day. UNH, like shortly, simply saying, UNH loves to filling the gaps. Okay. And the next setup is JB Hunt. JB Hunt is on my watch list. JB Hunt is been crazy the past half year, right? JB Hunt loves to break out, guys. Here we break out, right? Ride the momentum. Moving sideways, breakout, right? Moving sideways, again, again a breakout, strong breakout, right? Move sideways, a breakout. Here on this day, on Friday, we have a nice breakout, strong candle. When I say a breakout, I mean these type of breakouts, guys. Not not breakout like this, for example. You see a small green candle, or like this. We need a strong, like a green dildo. I'm sorry for my language. I'm kidding. And every time it breaks out, it flies. But keep in mind, be careful with JB Hunt because the option spread is really wide. If you buy, for example, 250 call options for March 20, look how wide is the spread. You will lose $100 if you buy bid price. You will lose $100, almost $195 for this strike price. So just be careful when you buy. Try to buy the mid price. Okay. So here's the mid price. So this is the ask, this is the bid, and this is the mid price. If you whenever you want to buy contracts, call options, put options, doesn't matter. You try to buy mid price, not the ask, not the bid. Most of the like new beginner traders, they make mistakes. They buy market order. No. You put on the limit order, then buy mid price. Okay. So yeah, and again, there is no resistance, right? And another good thing is, guys, I don't know if you guys can see it, but what I see is a massive, massive, massive since 2022. This 200, 210 was a massive resistance. Every time the JB Hunt comes close to $200 price range, it pulls back down. Touch, pulls back down, right? Almost touch, pulls back down. And you see, I'm on a monthly time frame, and on the monthly, the February, look at this massive breakout. I wouldn't wonder if JB Hunt will touch the 250 this month. So this is another setup. Rocket Lab. I don't trade Rocket Lab, but I want to share the trade idea. Why I don't trade Rocket Lab is because the IV is too high for me. Rocket Lab needs to make around like 4 to 5% move up or down, so I can make profit for like Rocket Lab should make a 4 or 5% move for like 2 3 days, so I can make a nice profit. But IV is too high, so I don't usually trade the Rocket Lab, or there's a few stocks that I don't trade. For example, QBTS. So QBTS, same thing. IV is too high, right? So look at the MO, for example. MO IV is 20%, and Rocket Lab is 90. So Rocket Lab should make a big move so you can make money from the options. But I want to share the setup. I know like few people in the kingdom loves Rocket Lab, trading Rocket Lab. So we got a nice bottom trend line here and the upper trend line here. And you see it's very tight. We break down. You see the bottom we here on this candle? We break down and closed above it. It was a fake breakdown, right? It faked almost everyone. And earnings has passed. Earnings was February 26th. Now you can go with trading the Rocket Lab call options, put options, doesn't matter, but it's very tight. Once you see a breakout from the trend line like this, right? The breakout to the upside, you buy call options, or break down below 64, let's say 64 somewhere here, 64, then you can go with the put options. But 64, 65 was a nice support here. So it's very, very, very risky. If you want to buy put options, if you are like bearish for Rocket Lab, then wait for the breakdown from 64 to 63, right? And you need a, you don't FOMO like this. You don't buy puts here. Yes, it's breaking down, but you need the confirmation. You wait for the daily candle. You put on a daily time frame, and you wait for the daily candle close below 63, right? Or if you are bullish on Rocket Lab, right? If it's gonna break above 73, 72, 73, and closes bullish, strong candle, green candle, then you can go with the call options, right? So yeah, but the direction is bearish. I'm not gonna lie, but we have a support here, so it's like 50 to 50. You just wait for a breakout or breakdown. You don't guess. We are not like a. We don't work in a weather place, like we don't predict the weather. We don't gonna say like, oh, Rocket Lab is gonna go down. We're not like a future guessers, right? So we just wait. We get a confirmation, break out, call options, break down, put options. Okay. GNG, Johnson Johnson. Johnson Johnson is having a really good time. I'm not gonna lie, because Johnson Johnson is a pharmaceutical company, right? I'm not sure what they do, but I know that they are a pharmaceutical company. Hims and hers are like having bad time, like lawsuit, etc., etc., etc. And NVO is also having a bad time. Look, NVO is from 64 to all the way to 70. I'm sorry, 37, almost 50%. Right? Hims. Oh man, this was a beautiful trade, bro. I'm not gonna lie. This was my setup for Hims, and it played perfectly. Look at this. And bro, I would be the happiest man in the world if it's gonna touch the $12. Let me put on $12 here. Market like yeah, Hims NVO is having bad time, and this is good for GNG. And turn on the 9 EMA, right? Green line. Look, the past July I'm sorry, on a daily time frame. I'm really sorry. I know I was on a weekly. Every time it tests the 9 EMA, it goes up. Pulls back, tests the 9 EMA, goes up. Moves sideways, tests the 9 EMA, right? Goes up, goes up, goes up. And it's been breaking out. It has broken out from the support here. A nice strong breakout, guys. I think it will fly the next 2 days, maybe 3 days, all the way to, I don't know, maybe 255, right? 255. I can see 255. How many percent? 3%. 3% move up. And I like the IV. IV is not too high, right? If I were you, I would definitely go with March 20. Yeah, 255. 255. But open interest is low. Go with 250, not 250, 255. Yes, it's twice as expensive, but I like the how open interest is high here, and it's a bit safe. 255 is kind of. Do you think GNG can go to 255 in let's say 20 days? You are giving yourself 20 days so GNG can go to 255. It's a bit risky. Yes, 3% move, it's possible, but it's kind of risky. So I would go with 250. I would go with 250, and then let my contracts trim on the way 255, 250, 252, right? My take profits levels, right? And then let some contracts to run all the way to 255. But the setup is bullish, guys. The setup is bullish. Every time it tests the 9 EMA, you buy call options, you ride the momentum. Okay. Same thing. CVS. Another setup is I had CVS calls, but I kind of fucked up. It's okay. Now we have the gap here, guys. We have the gap here. All right. How many percent gap? How many percent? It's 3-4%. Let's say 3%. All right. Let's not be perfect. Let's call it 3%. We have the gap here, and we have a nice trend line here, and we have been breaking out from this resistance, right? We have a nice resistance here, and this is a nice breakout, guys. This is nice breakout. CVS is number one on my watch list. I will be watching the CVS MO. I'm put on the second, and UNH. Oops. And UNH. Yes, these three stocks I will be watching for tomorrow because CVS, I love how it closed strong on a daily. You see a breakout, nice breakout, and there's a massive gap. Let me see how the EMA is. Yes, EMA is kind of unhealthy. Okay, we have a gap, and I will wait. It's down -1% on the overnight market, but I will definitely wait for a small pullback. I'm not gonna lie, I will wait for a small, maybe -80%. I'm sorry, negative 0.8%, and then trade like this. Let me turn on the long. This would be my trade setup. We have been breaking out from the resistance zone, right? We have a nice resistance, and we have a gap here, right? I need small pullback from CVS, then so I can go with the call options. But I will watch the market tomorrow, and I would love to play the gap fill all the way, right? So that's it. This is the setups that I've been watching. I will definitely share the DD and etc. everything on my Discord lab. All right. so you can guys see. But I wanted to explain every setup that I will be watching for this week. Okay, so Q&A, guys. If you have any stocks that you would like me to have a look, watch, please ask me now. All right, let me just. What's up, Trina? Hey, hey. Bro, my English sucks. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why you guys watching me. I wouldn't watch myself. I'm not gonna lie. bro, bro, like 10 years, not the 10 years, maybe 5 years old kid speaks better than me. Oh, man. I hope you guys understand. And I really appreciate you guys come and join for the Sunday market recap thing. But my English sucks, bro. It's really hard for me to explain some things. I know what I'm doing, but it's hard to explain. All right. It's all about the baby oil. Jill Loco, bro. You're funny. All right. Let's go to XYZ. All right. What happened to XYZ? It's been like days, maybe weeks since I didn't have a look to XYZ. I don't know, man. XYZ is. It is. Okay, we have gap here, right? We have a gap here, and we did break out, right? We had a nice trend line here. We did break out. We closed above 60, right? And it can go either way. I'm not gonna lie. It's because of the earnings. Because of the earnings, they announced they are like gonna lay off the 4,000 people, 40% of their employees. Correct me if I'm wrong. So the Block CEO, they on earnings on February 26th, they announced that they are gonna lay off 40% of their employees. And I heard that it's gonna be 4,000 employees. 4,000. Which means they have 10,000 employees and they are laying off 4,000. 40% of it. That's crazy. Right? But like think from the investor side, right? You are an investor, you are investing in XYZ Block stock, right? It is good for the company because they are going to save money because they are laying off the employees. And instead of the AI, the robots, or whatever it is, right? And it's going to do the job of 4,000 people. It's going to save the money for the company. It is good for the company, but it is bad for whoever is being laid off. Okay? So from the technical side, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, because it pumped how many percent? It pumped 20%, 21%, and it closed 16% up. It can go up, it can go down. You don't know. So what I would do is after the earnings, there's a 3-day rule. 3-day rule, guys. When you see after earnings, the stock pumps or dumps, you wait at least 3 days before you make a decision. You don't FOMO. You don't play, oh man, XYZ pumped 20%. It will definitely dump. You don't know. It can keep going up, right? You just wait 3 days and then you make the decision, okay? So there's a 3-day rule. Let me show you what was that? The recent pumps and dumps. Was it Hims? I don't know. Just go to the any stock and wait and look. If you see this type of move, you wait 3 days and then you make a decision. If you are bearish, wait 3 days, right? If you are bullish, oh, it was end phase. I remember it was end phase. Look, this is end phase. Earnings they announced on February 3rd. They announced earnings. I don't know what was their earnings, what was their future guidance. I don't know and I don't care, but it pumped 41%. 41%. Any trader, even I was bearish on Enphase. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh man, it pumped 41% and it should pull back. It's not healthy at all, right? And imagine you bought puts here and in 24 days, after 24 days, it went down 17%. Yes, it did. But look, my point is it pumped. This is the first day, this is the second day, and this is the third day. It's just moving sideways. When you see a pump 41%, the IV will be crazy. This IV you see 63, 63, 64% is after 20 days. But when they pumped, it was like, I don't know, maybe more than 100, right? And the theta will kill you. So you wait 3 days, okay? This is my take. And then after 3 days, you will get the contracts for much cheaper price. Then you after 3 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 5 days you wait, you print, right? You print 14%. Right? Same thing, XYZ, you wait 3 days and then you make a decision, okay? Cool, cool. ASTS also not earnings tomorrow. Oof. ASTS is earnings. Okay, hear me out. If you uh if you want to play ASTS earnings or like for a long term, I just need a small brief background for your question. If you want to play earnings, it's 50 to 50. You don't know what's gonna happen, right? It can go up, down. It's pure gambling, right? Like I've seen A plus plus earnings, right? They announce good earnings, future expectations, beautiful. Is Nvidia, guys? Is Nvidia? They announced 80 billion future revenue, not including the China. China is not included in their earnings. 80 billion 1 year. Look, the stock is down. Stock is down 8%, right? It's 50 to 50. So same thing with ASTS, right? Short term, I would say wait for the earnings, see what's going to happen. It can go up 10% or 50%. Doesn't matter. Maybe it will be flat, right? You wait 3 days for the IV to cool down because look, ASTS IV is look at the like March 20 is 118%. When I see IV is too high, bro, you can't make too much money because stock should go up 5 to 10% so you can make money from the options because IV is too high, right? Most traders they don't know. They think, oh, yeah, it's gonna go up 3%. I will make money. No. So just wait for the earnings and wait after the earnings. Wait 3 days, and then we will see how the from the technical analysis side how the stock will be. Okay, but short term, what I would really recommend you to take a picture. You don't have to take a picture. There's a 3 stocks on my watch list for aerospace: Rocket Lab, Lunar, and ASTS. And look what was the earnings of Rocket Lab. Look what was the Lunar will announce their earnings on March 19, so we have time. But look what the Rocket Lab did. Go to their earnings and see. They will STS will probably usually the same sectors they usually tend to announce make a same move from their earnings. Rocket Lab was down 4%. It's not a big deal. Was it? Yes, it was like a negative 4%. It's nothing for Rocket Lab. Both sides were cooked. 4% move, calls cooked. The call options negative 50%, right? And even though the Rocket Lab was down 4%, look, Out of the money was down -1, -14, -20. So you need a, when the IV is too high, you need a big move. Okay, 4% is not enough. So I wouldn't say much, um, but let's have a look. So I see a nice the bottom trend line here in my eyes. Let me put on a weekly. Maybe weekly will be much cleaner. Yes, weekly is much clean. So we gotta, yep. Let's put it like this. Um, look how weekly candles are closing. You see the how bearish it is. Look, the top wicks, yes, it's pumping, but pulling back. The sellers are much stronger. The buyers stepping in, raising the stock to all the way to 88, 87, and then the sellers are stronger. They're selling, 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 and closing below 80. So from technical point, you will definitely have a look at the earnings. Earnings can pump the stock to 50%, 40%, 20%, doesn't matter, or dump the stock, right? But it's gonna be flat. I think I'm expecting the stock will probably touch the trend line. You see the trend line? Okay. We have a weekly trend line and we have a weekly support here, right? This is 1 month, 4 weeks. Each candle represents 1 week, right? 1 week, 1 week, 1 week, 1 week. And if it's gonna go down, then you'll probably end up buying call options somewhere here, right? Then see how it's gonna go. So we have a nice support here and nice support from the trend line. This is two support, right? So yeah. I was exercised on a put. Ouch. I see. David, can you please check any of these three? GDX, COPEX, and CLG. Oh yeah, sure. One a gold miner. Okay, this is a gold miner. This is a COPEX. I think I have them on my watch list. Yes. Copper and silver. All right, they are all the miners, right? Yeah. So look, let's start with CLG. CLG, I think. Let me put on here CLG. CLG is up. It will probably be up because I have a rare earth here. The oil is up almost 4% in overnight. Copex is down. Copper is down. Silver is flat. Gold is a little bit up. With Iran, US, the tension, the war between them, right? The earth minerals and all the earth stocks will probably try to pump, right? But keep in mind, you will expect, yes, the the earth minerals, rare earth stocks will pump. I don't think so. Because the stock market, the streets, they already priced in whatever gonna happen between US and Iran. Okay, so that's why you don't see much move from the silver, right? Silver is almost flat. Gold is a little bit up 1% for it's nothing. It's nothing for this type of stocks. US oil, however, is up because Iran closed their like the the ocean way that like a ships with oil move. It's like 20% of like world's oil goes through that road, and Iran closed it, and that's why oil price jumped because maybe it was unexpected, maybe market didn't expect it, right? They closed the roads, the ship roads, so that's why oil pumped, right? I'm not saying from the technical side. Now we're talking about like a bigger picture, you know, and market already priced in that the US will strike the Iran, there will be war, and that's why gold didn't make a 4%, 5% move. It's slight up, yes, it should be up. Silver is flat, copper is flat, right? But oil is up. So be careful. The IV will be very high for rare earth stocks. Okay. CLG is there's no overnight price, I think. Is there? I don't see overnight price. So whatever. Let's put on a daily. Okay. Daily is bullish. I'm not gonna lie. The EMA is catching up, right? It's above the 9 EMA, right? Look, when the 9 EMA will give you a direction. It's if the candles are above the 9 EMA, it's uptrend. If the candles are below the 9 EMA, it's downtrend. If it's like this, it's chopping, it's moving sideways, okay? But the daily, I see a double top here. Nice double top here. It's forming a nice double top, right? And you just wait. You don't know what's gonna happen with maybe it's gonna be double top, maybe it's gonna be breakout from the resistance, right? First is double top, and the second is we have a nice resistance here, right? It's gonna just move sideways, and when you see a break above 42, break above the 42, then you will you'll make a decision. Until then, I wouldn't touch it. I'm not gonna lie, because it can go either way. You think it's gonna be double top, then it's gonna go down. You're rushing. You're predicting the future. You don't know what's gonna happen, right? But you think, oh, it's going up because of the US Iran thing, it's gonna go up. Maybe it will. But if I were you, I would just wait for the resistance breakout. Once it's gonna break out and closes above 42, 42, yes, exactly 42, then I will buy call options. But if it's gonna touch the 41, 42, and then move sideways, right? Make a double top and make this move. Let me draw it. Make this type of move. Make this type of move. Reject the 41, 42, and then you can start thinking, okay, now it's clear that it made a double top. Okay. Copex, let's go to Copex. Same thing, same thing. They're moving the same, right? Same thing. So for Copex, oops, I'm sorry. For Copex, break above. Look, why it pulled back from 99.99. Sometimes there's a psychological zones for the stocks. For example, for Copex, it's $100, right? For Tesla, it's what was that? For Tesla, it's 500. 500 for Tesla is a psychological zone. Look, it didn't even touch the 500, but it came close to 500 and then pulled back, right? For Copex, I can see there's a psychological zone. If you are bullish, don't be bullish, don't be bearish, right? Don't try to predict the market. If you see the candle closes above the 100, the daily candle should close something like this, strong green candle, okay? If it's gonna break out the $100 psychological zone, then you can be bullish. But same thing, I can see a nice double top here, okay? You can see a nice double top here. So the GDX, the last one, look, now GDX is a different scenario. GDX is breaking out, right? We were like, okay, now it's forming a nice double top here, right? Nice double top. But on Friday, we broke out. We broke out from 115 zone. 115. 115. GDX is a little bit bullish. Okay? Same thing. 150, 15. Now you can expect 120, right? $5 move. Just be careful. Um, Look, for example, here, the stock pumps, right? The distance between the candle and the 9 EMA is too wide, and then what it's gonna do is it's gonna move sideways. Now EMA is gonna catch up with the candle, and then you see a move, right? So what I want to try to say is, uh, from the risk management side, I think the GDX will probably move sideways a little bit, right? And then 9 EMA will catch up, the indicator will catch up. And then once it's gonna touch the 9 EMA, then you can go with the call options, right? So how about the RSI? The RSI is also at the 70. So a little bit risky. Don't FOMO, okay? Don't FOMO. Wait for the 9 EMA to catch up. But GDX is the cleanest one among the three. Okay. So I'm done. I'm done for the day. I'll probably end the stream here. But guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I will wait. I'll wait another 4 minutes and chillax. If you don't have any questions, you can leave. You can stay. Whatever you want to do. I'll just play music. So many girls. Na, 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 na. I think my Spotify is not working. It's not working. Whatever. Karaoke time. Yay, yes. Got ONDS. Oh man, be careful with ONDS. I'm not gonna lie. I'll show you my ONDS, okay? But please don't talk about it on after hour because people hate me. I'll show you my after hour stock. There's a three stocks that I'm really bearish. First is HIMS. I was bearish on HIMS around like when it was like around $38 or no. Check my first post about the HIMS. I have shared this DD. I've shared this technical analysis on after hour. I was the almost the first one, maybe I don't know, but I don't want to say too much. But I was really bearish on HIMS, and it worked perfectly. Look at the weekly, right? And the second one was Robinhood. I am bearish on Robinhood. I think it's gonna go to 65, and the next will be 50. And this is my ONDS. Okay, I know after hour people have a lot of Robinhood, they have a lot of HIMS, they have a lot of ONDS, and this is honestly, I think it's gonna go to $6 in a short period of time. Not short, maybe in the next 3, 4, 5 months, maybe, right? If it's gonna go to $6, it's gonna lose 40% of its value. 40%. Right now it's $10, right? Right now it's $10, but it's gonna go to $6, which is from Fibonacci. And look at the weekly. Weekly is bearish, right? You see the long top wicks. Why the fuck my Spotify is not working? Oh, whatever, dude. It's not working. And the monthly, if you look at the monthly candle, look, You see how it's rejecting $11 on a monthly time frame, right? And we have a nice, well, I'm gonna turn on its color to yellow. Okay, now let's turn on blue. Let's make it blue. Blue, 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 blue. On a daily, there's this trend line, a nice trend line here, right? And if it will probably touch the $6 in, I don't know, maybe April is too short. I don't think it's gonna touch the $6. But I do believe it's gonna go to $6. But be careful. Be very, very, very careful. So ONDS. Okay? I just don't want you guys to lose money. Okay? But look, LIPS, let's say if you buy, for example, 1 year LIPS, January 15, right? ONDS, and your strike price is, for example, you think it's gonna go back up to $15, right? It's gonna cost you $300. It's, I mean, I don't wanna say it's cheap, it's expensive. For some people, it's expensive. $300 is hard-earned money, right? But for some people, it's very cheap, right? For yearly leaps, right? I mean, I don't mind. Well, if I were you, I would do the same, right? I would just throw 3 contracts, $900, right, for ONDS 15 call options, right? It is what it is. The worst case scenario, I'm gonna lose $900, 3 contracts, right? Or if things get good, right? If ONDS will pump to 30, maybe $20, I'll make money. It is what it is. It's just don't full port. That's the only concern I'm having. Okay. And with Bitcoin cycle, Hood will probably, yes, it's gonna touch the 65. I don't think people will let Hood go to 50, but this is my next target for Hood. I'm pretty sure it's gonna touch the 65 and then 50. And HIMS will probably definitely definitely touch $12, and the next stop will probably be $9. Not gonna lie, I'm really interested in HIMS because why? People think I'm sarcastic. People think I hate HIMS. No, 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 no. I love HIMS. I will show you my long-term stocks that I want to buy. Is HIMS, is Snapchat. Snapchat is very difficult stock. I don't recommend to anyone to buy, but why I want to buy Snapchat is because maybe some company will acquire Snapchat and then stock will pump. Like what was it? PayPal. Look, PayPal went down to 38. Now it's trading at 46 because Stripe wants to buy PayPal, like acquire the PayPal. Same thing. I think Snapchat has a lot of users and a lot of data, right? So probably, I don't know, big company like Meta or Microsoft or whatever company it is will probably acquire the Snapchat for its data, not because of its product. The Snapchat product is not that great right now because Instagram and TikToks, they replaced the Snapchat, but for its data. Iran is my on my long term. ONDS is my on my long term. Hood is on my long term. Yes, these 3 stocks are like my short position. Not the short position, but I'm bearish. But I love the company. Microsoft is on my long term list. Grab is on my long term list. Zeta, CRM, RR. PayPal was on my watch list now. I think they will be delisted if Stripe will buy this PayPal. Adobe, Fubo TV. Yes, it's very cheap, but the cheap can go cheaper. IGV is number one. I'm not gonna lie. So you don't know what will happen with CRM. You don't know what's going to happen with Adobe. These two companies are SaaS companies, right? And software as a service, right? But instead of betting on individual stock like Adobe, instead of buying Adobe, instead of buying CRM, you can go with IGV, it's ETF, right? If Adobe will be bankrupt and the rest 95 stocks, maybe 80 stocks, what, however, sorry, uh, I don't know how many stocks are inside the IGV, but they're gonna be good. And the only stock Adobe will be like bankrupt, you will still make money on IGV, right? But if you invest in individual stock, that's the risk that you're gonna take. So yeah, and I have these four stocks. I'm really bullish. RR is, I don't know. RR is from the technical side. It's breaking down, right? You see a breakdown. I don't know. I just want to invest in any robotic stock that is cheap right now that maybe have a future, right? Maybe have a future. So I have few robotic stocks on my watch list. I have few. Where is the robotics? Oh, it's here. Few robotic stocks like Serve, right? Like Bosch, Mobilcom, RBE, Rock, Evev, Symbiotic. Symbiotic is a good one. It's just it's just buying Symbiotic at 2022, right? That where that's where you would have make money, or like at least 2025, like April 2025 when it was like $15. Now you missed the move and it's too risky. I think I don't want a full port on RR, but maybe RR will be the future of robotics. You don't know. All right. You guys have a good night. I will end the stream here. Thank you so much for joining. It was my pleasure to do stream with you guys. I know. Oh, somebody on YouTube. Oh my God. Somebody on YouTube asked me Netflix, my first user. Awesome. I hope you are still here, but I'll just have a look at the Netflix real quick. Okay. Netflix is breaking out. Okay. It's breaking out. I'm really happy no one joined my stream on YouTube, but Netflix, look, Netflix weekly breakout. That's the thing. Okay. Netflix weekly breakout is the, what is it? Let me turn, wait a second. I'm not, let me just give me a second. Okay. First of all, weekly is much cleaner to see, right? The weekly 9 EMA was a major resistance, right? Every time, each week, Netflix touched the 9 EMA, on a weekly time frame, it's gonna pull back. Touch the 9 EMA, pulls back, right? Comes close, pulls back. So we see a nice breakout, a nice strong momentum. And the market sentiment has changed on Netflix because the deal is over between Paramount, Netflix, and Warner Brothers, right? We all know that the Netflix wanted to buy Warner Brothers. They made a deal, they made a contract, right? If Warner Brothers rejects the Netflix offer, they have to pay how much money? I think it was like two, three, $4 billion. I don't know. Just Google it. And they are just making money. Netflix is making money out of the air. They didn't spend any money, but instead they are taking money from Warner Brothers because the deal is over. The Paramount is gonna buy Warner Brothers, and now the things are changing, right? I was waiting. I was telling to everyone, hey guys, yes, Netflix is gonna be bullish. Yes, Netflix is gonna pump, but wait till the Paramount and the Netflix Warner Brothers deal will be over. Right now, it's over. Now it's bullish. But keep in mind, from the technical side, this was a like market sentiment for Netflix. But keep in mind, we have a small gap here, and the RSI is a bit over the 70. Whenever you see RSI is over 70, it will probably correct, a healthy correction. You should expect a healthy correction. I think you missed the move to the upside, right? But if you wait for like 1 or 2 weeks, the Netflix will probably make this type of move, right? This type of move, pull back, right? I don't think it's gonna pull back too much. I just want the RSI to settle down, to cool down, and the 9 EMA on the daily time frame to catch up with the candle. Because you see, 9 EMA was a nice short setup. Every time it touches the 9 EMA, it's gonna pull back. Touch the 9 EMA, pulls back. Touch the 9 EMA, pulls back. Okay, so the direction is changing now. And on the weekly, we have nothing. Yeah, I do like how Netflix is breaking out from the weekly. You see, let me turn up the 9 EMA RSI. You see, we have a nice breakout, a strong breakout on the weekly. On the monthly, same thing. On the monthly, you have a nice, the bottom week, right? On the monthly, you have a nice, very, 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 very nice support here, right? Oops. Dang, 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 dang. Since so I'm kind of bullish on Netflix, but it's a bit late to buy calls, right? And a bit late to buy shorts because it can keep pumping or correct itself, pull back, a healthy pullback, 2, 5, 6% pullback for the next 2 weeks, then keep going higher. Okay? So yeah. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, YouTube. One person watched me.